Figure it out. Got it? The tiny little bottom one. No, there you go. Got it.
Okay, so my topic is about the wonderful world of animal prosthetics, which is also an emerging topic. Okay, so first of all, just an overview. A prosthetic, I'm sure most of you know what that is, but it's basically an artificial body part. It helps animals regain motion and things like that, but we'll talk about that more. It basically just replaces a body part that the animal doesn't have or has lost. Like I said, it's emerging in uses for animals, however, it's very common in human medicine.
Yeah, getting very, very common. You know, people come back from wars and they're missing parts or they lose parts because of cancer and stuff. Yeah.
So the fabrication process is pretty complicated, but I've tried to simplify it for these purposes. So businesses will basically meet with the animal and assess their needs, and then they will actually create molds custom designed to fit the animal's body. So they'll basically wrap the animal in a plaster cast if necessary, and then shape the prosthetic based on their body. And they can use foam, plastic, aluminum, basically any sturdy, lightweight material that can mimic, the anatomy. So sockets, joints, bones, etc. Anything they need to move. And in some special cases, I watched a video of a guy I'll tell you about a little bit later. He actually used a 3D printer to make prosthetics for an animal with plastic. Okay, so uses. They can correct birth defects. So this is actually the animal that I was talking about that has the prosthetics made from a 3D cast. His name is Derby, and he has a birth defect that caused his front legs to be malformed at birth. So they form-fitted those prosthetics with a printer, which is pretty interesting. There's also uses to treat animals who have lost body parts from trauma. So this is Modala the elephant. I believe she's from India. I can't remember exactly where, but she actually lost her front leg from an explosion on a work site. Wow. So as far as I know, her and Moshe, it's Moshe and Modala, those are the only two elephants, or the first two, to have prosthetics in the world. So an animal that size, that's actually pretty remarkable.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. So pretty cool. And then also you can aid medical amputees. So Vincent is an example. I watched a video about him where he was actually brought to a vet hospital with some injuries to his back legs that had to be amputated. And they gave him cool little things to walk on that still give him motion and everything. So it was very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so the guy I was talking about is Derek Campana, and he actually owns a company for animal prosthetics. And so we'll watch a little video about that. Mostly I just want to show you the cool animals success story. So.
Who's ours?
She's got it all planned out, the minute and second to mark.
So this is Moshe and Modala.
Thanks for that.
Exotic animals aside, Campana estimates 90% of the more than 10,000 patients he's treated are man's best friend.
Wow.
We love the stories where every morning the dog will bring the device to the owner's feet and say, hey, it's time to get up and walk and be a dog again.
Okay. So, yep, that's Derby there. He
Are
was
we
also...
going to see him walk?
Oh, sure, we can watch him walk.
He is one of his most famous.
Derby is one of those congenital cases, birth defect. We were able to 3D scan the legs and design the legs in 3D upon these positive molds and build these three-dimensional.
No, that's amazing. He looks very healthy, and he was born with this.
3D printer.
Right? This just didn't happen. He's lived that. I mean, so that's proof right there. He's doing fine to grow and stuff.
Page for you. There we go. Okay, so yeah, I loved the video of the puppy running across the shop. It just seemed very happy. And Derby too, these animals, get a new lease on life, which is incredible. So there are lots of possibilities, not just with dogs or cats, but livestock, pigs, reptiles, tortoises, dolphins, birds. So lots of times birds have injuries where they lose their beak, and that's basically how they eat, how they pick up things. They need their beak to survive because they don't have hands or things like that. So all of this is just very fascinating and interesting, and it's a really cool field. So,
Okay. Questions, comments? Anybody ever seen some of these things being made? Anybody? Here we go.
Well, I had, we bought a bird, like a little canary, and he had like a nub, and it seemed like he was born that way. But it was very weird.
On one of his feet, you're saying?
Yeah. So
okay,
it was
rather
just,
than claws,
yeah,
just
it
a
was
nub.
like
Okay.
a little nub. So I tried to like make my own prosthetic, but it was so like their legs are so little, and
So
he was so
tiny.
little that like I took the spring of like a pencil and like I tried to fit it on, but the nub was like too like wide, but the rest would have fit. But yeah, and then he seemed like uncomfortable trying anything else. So.
well, I did see in my research for this that there are ducks where they've actually replaced their leg with a prosthetic, so that's pretty cool. Just if you're curious, on average, I think I read an article where it said that prosthetics range from like $500 to $1,500 per thing, so that's general price range.
I'm sure it depends a lot. Anybody else have any comments?
So it's not really prosthetics, but we got a lot of turtles with broken shells this summer, and you would put nails in their shells and then put rubber bands around the nails and bring it closer together over time.
I did that with, or not me, but the veterinarian I worked with did that with shoelaces. So
Okay.
they would like bra clasps. They would take bra clasps and glue them to the shell and then use shoelaces. It's the coolest thing to watch.
That's neat.
And like birds, like because they sit in little cups or fake nests when they're little babies. And when they get older, sometimes their legs are deformed from being in like the nest. And so we put like metal braces and metal booties on their legs, like put their legs in the right spot so they learn how to stand on their actual legs.
Yeah. Now the shells, I would have thought, rather than nails, I could have envisioned a screw going into it, but maybe nails. Are you saying pounding nails, or was it a screw? Nails? Okay. I'm just curious. I can see
Maybe a
that.
screw. That might actually.
A screw makes more sense, because of how they fix legs and all that kind of stuff. You can do internal or external fixation. To me, it makes screw could be better controlled, and then you can put the rubber bands or the shoelaces or the bra straps.
Well, it was like the metal
hooks.
The hooks, yes.
Can you buy those things?
Mhm.
Oh, okay, so yeah, I don't know anything about that. Okay, I have a little experience with the prosthetics. Never made one, but I went to Best Friends Animal Sanctuary in southern Utah, Kanab, and when I was in the cat house, one of the cat houses, they have like 600 cats up for adoption, and there's one volunteer. As soon as we came in, he was at a desk making like a little stroller for the back end of a cat that was paralyzed. So the cat would fit in the stroller and it would be on wheels, and then the cat had freedom with the front legs. And so he was doing that. That's awesome. And he was kind of jerry-rigging it, so it probably had less than $500 in it. Like there's plumbing pipes, and you could make a little swing and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a very